Got it. All right.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone for joining us this evening. I would kind of like to know in the chat, our last joint training was during the day and this one's in the evening. I'm curious to know if you guys would prefer daytime or evening time. It's something that we usually question each other about, like, should we do it in the morning? Should we do it in the evening? So we would love to get your input on that. If you don't mind, over in the chat box, just drop that in there. So I want to introduce the panel tonight. So you are going to be hearing from 3 different real estate trainers this evening. And we have a little bit of a different topic tonight. We are going to be talking about how to automate to elevate. So I love that. Janine came up with that one, and I love it because we love elevated. So what we're really going to be digging in tonight is how you can leverage technology, leverage spreadsheets, leverage software to really take maybe something off of your plate. So that way it opens you up to say yes to something else. And it's also something that then you don't have to worry about. We're going to look at different techniques that has set our day up for success. And for me, it's just fun. I've actually kind of become a little obsessed with creating a smart house and trying to run my life in a little bit more of an efficient manner. So we are really excited to dig into that. I am joined by Lisa Bingley.
Bingley.
Bingley. Oh, I was trying to make you Italian. I don't know why. Bingley. I'm so bad with names, guys. It's terrible. It's a good thing that I got an easy name to say because I would probably even say it wrong if I didn't. And then I have Janine Sasso.
The Italian, which is not Italian, by the way. I'm German, but
German.
Yeah, the name is Italian.
That's funny. I didn't know that, so that's fun. We are all going to be tackling different. Sorry, my page has changed here. We're going to be tackling different topics. So as each speaker changes, the topic will change along with it. If you guys have any questions throughout the entire training, we would love for you to drop those over in the comments. We are tracking those questions throughout the evening. If there is one that we feel like we might need to answer right away, just for something that makes sense, we'll pop up and answer that. But for the most part, we'll probably keep a lot of those for the end. So make sure you stick around if you really want or are interested in that Q&A. We will try to get that done in the end. Just a little housekeeping. We are going to have everyone muted, so that way there is no interruption in your learning. We would love to know where you're from, so feel free to drop that in the chat also. And just so you know, if for some reason you have to jump off and you can't finish this entire training, no problem. Since you registered, you will get an email with a replay link in it, and then we will also actually post that over on Elevated Agents YouTube. The other girls might be posting it on their sites as well. So I think that's about it. What do you guys think? You guys ready? Ready to jump in? Ready to learn?
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna actually just share my screen real quick. I learned last time earpods were needed, and also to share my browser and not just my full screen. So we're gonna do that right this time. All right, so here we go. Let me know if you guys can see everything okay here in the full screen. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, love it. All right, here we go. Oh gosh, that's automatically playing, sorry. So let me just go back one. This year, I decided that I wanted to take my business up to the next level. That also meant that I was going to have to really start truly planning and running my life as a CEO, not only of my business, but of my life. And so as we go through all of these different things, remember that you don't have to do all of it. You don't have to do any of it. If you have a better way, that's awesome. I'm sharing personally what has helped to create a more efficient day in our life and what has worked for us. So just kind of keep that in mind as you go. I am going to be sharing a lot of different products for you. If there's no pressure to buy or nothing, these are just the products, again, that have helped create this efficient life for us. So the first product, I was going to take my phone and then like show you all the things in my house. And then I thought that just sounds like a technical nightmare. And so I thought that would not be a good idea. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, you guys, as you can see my office, we're still messy. Like these things don't just like automatically fix your life. They just make a few things a little bit better. So keep that in mind also as we go on. So I'm going to change the slide. It's going to automatically start playing. So I apologize, but well, maybe. There we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is Switchbot. So the reason why I wanted to bring Switchbot up is because I was struggling with my mornings. I hated the idea of having an alarm and that like, going off in my ear every morning. I liked the idea. I'm not a super morning person. I'm not like a grumpy morning person, but it takes me a little bit to like wake up. I'm not real talkative or anything. So I thought there's got to be a better way to wake up in the morning. So I found this technology. It's called Switchbot. As you can see, this little guy right here actually goes onto the top of your curtain rod and it connects with your phone and it automatically opens your curtains and closes them. It's super cool. I'm gonna play the video so you guys can see it. And then I'm gonna kind of explain to you how I've used it.
Should we be able to hear?
That is insane. I've never heard of that before.
Isn't it so awesome?
This is crazy.
So I'm not going to play the whole thing, but as you can see, it actually has openers for different types of curtain rods. So you're not limited. Because at first I have these in my bedroom, but I'm getting ready to put the rail on the ceiling. And so I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to get rid of my curtain openers. They have it for the ceiling openers too. So I was so excited about that. So how I've used this to change my morning is I have it set up on an automatic opener and closer. So it opens every morning. Now we've changed it now to 6:15 because we're getting up and walking. So it opens at 6:15. It is a much easier way to wake up. And let me tell you, just waking up to just beautiful sunlight, more than that from your alarm, so much better. It is nice also because if you have certain days off a week that you don't want to wake up, you don't have to have them open those days. So like if you wanted to take the weekend off and sleep in, lucky you can keep your curtains closed. You have access to it on your phone, which we love. We have been, before we had the program set up to open and close it, we would use our phone, but they recharge very easily. They keep their charge for months. I think we charged them in January and we haven't charged them since. I will say they are a little bit more expensive. I'm going to kind of give you guys an idea of price as we go. So one of these is about $100. You don't need to on each curtain rod though. Only you need to on each curtain rod if you want it to open like this, but it actually works just fine if you have one that pushes it all the way to one side. We made that mistake. We bought 4 because we thought we needed 2 per and we don't. So that's okay. They just open like this. However, if you don't want to spend the money to have them open in the middle, you can have it open and close from one side to the next. So those are just fun and also a really much better way of waking up. Okay, so then they also have an option that is the Switchbot button. So this is where I'm going to start getting a little bougie, and you guys can judge me if you want. I don't care. I have one of these. So I bought a towel warmer for our shower, and I actually have it where it pops on at 6:15, and then my towel warmer is warmed up and waiting for me to get out of the shower once I am done. You can also operate it off of your phone, just like the other thing. So if I wanted my towel warmer on at a different time, maybe not exactly 6:15, all I have to do is go on my phone and hit that button and it turns it on for me. You can put these on so many different things. Let's say you wanted it on your coffee pot. If for some reason you didn't have a coffee pot, that could be programmed. There was something the other day, I was like, man, that would have been a good one. But you can put them on light switches and stuff like that too, if you would like. This is a really fun way of operating things that you just don't want to get up and down for. And so again, I was trying to be like, okay, if I had the most efficient and like wonderful morning, what would that involve? And so I was trying to find things to create that. So that is just one more like cherry on top. So I wanted to share that with you. Okay, so the next one is the Singlet. So there are a lot of options out there for these. I found this one, picked this one, and I've stuck with it since. I feel like I like this brand because they have a lot of different products that all work together. And so for me, that was a plus, and that's why I decided to go with this brand. So they have the light bulbs, as you can see, and we all know how well, maybe we don't all know how the light bulbs work. So it's very easy. I was a little bit nervous when I got them in the mail. I think I got 3 or 4 lamp light bulbs. This one that I'm showing you on the screen is actually a floodlight, but I wanted to show you guys that they have all different kinds of light bulb sizes. So you can program this for all of your floodlights. They have the little like candlestick type, and then the regular light bulb as well. So what you do is you buy it. Like I said, I think I got 3 or 4 for 25 to 30 bucks. And all you do is you turn off your lamp, you screw it into your lamp, and then you turn on your lamp. And when you turn it back on, it should flash. If it doesn't do that, then you turn it on and off real quick 5 times, and then it will flash. And so then you get your phone out and you go to the Singlet app. You can either do it through the Singlet app or the Alexa app. It also will work with Apple Home and your Google Assist. And then it should automatically pop up saying new device discovered. You can name that lamp and then put it into your Alexa. So then you're going to go into your Alexa and set up a room with your device. I'm sorry, I should have maybe shown this a little bit better. Maybe I can get you guys a graphic for when the email goes out. But then you just pair it with your device. So then in your Alexa, you can set up different rooms, and it asks, that will be a prompt when you pair it. So don't think that you have to remember all these steps, because Alexa's really good at saying, okay, next, next, and next. So then once you get your room set up, let's say, like, for example, I have my entryway, my living room and kitchen is all pretty open. And I have one of these light bulbs in every single lamp. And girls, let me tell you, I am a lamp kind of girl. I have a lamp by my front door, and then halfway through my entryway, I have another lamp. I have one in my living room. I have 2 in my dining room. And then I think one more that I'm missing. So I have them all set up on the Alexa app. So at dusk, when it hit dusk, and that changes all the time, right? They automatically all come on. And so that's usually like around 8 o'clock. So once it starts getting dark, no one has to turn on lights. We turn on, it just does it automatically. I also have it set up that when I say good morning, Alexa, it will turn on all of the lamps for me. And then you can say good night. You can say, Alexa, good night. And then it turns all of the lamps in the entire house off. So when you go get in bed at night, you can just say, good night, Alexa, and it turns every single light in your house off. You don't have to worry. And you can also jump into your Alexa if you want. And like you can do per lamp, you can do all of your lamps, anything like that will be included. And you can then create the routines, which the good night and the good morning, those are called routines inside of your Alexa app. So if you want to go into your Alexa app right now, and if you look for the routine button, you click that, and then that's what's going to create that routine. You can get these bulbs in different colors, which is super cool. I will say I purposely only got the white because I have 2 children that are 9 and 10. And I knew when I ordered these, it was going to be a fight. They were going to be changing the color all the time. They're going to be fighting what color it is. And I was just like, no. So there is more options than what I got, but I was strategic about what I bought. So that's the light bulb. I'm just kind of trying to look for my chat here. I don't know if there's any questions or anything. I can only see the screen. So any questions so far?
No, you're good on the questions. You set up somebody's Alexa about 3 times at this point. Because we all have them, right?
I'm surprised mine hasn't gone up. I'm sorry, I apologize. So now over to the plugins. These are, I would say these are a little bit less of a necessity because so many things now can be powered. Like they come to where they can connect. Surprisingly, like if you buy a new lamp now or whatever, a lot of times they automatically connect. However, there are a few things that I use this for. So for an example, my deck lights. I have them plugged into one of these because I got tired of having to go outside and turn on the deck light, or like go over to where the switch was, or having to like bend down, plug it in and out. So I got this. You plug whatever plug-in into it, and then you basically pair the plug-in just like you would the light bulb, and you can connect everything the exact same way. So those are really cool. I was trying to think of something else I might use that for, but I know the deck lights for sure were something. Before I got the light bulbs, I would use these plugins for turning on and off lamps and stuff, but that's not necessary now. Okay, so those are the light bulbs. Let me check my notes to make sure I'm covering everything.
So I got a funny one on the plug while you check your notes.
Yeah.
I got a plug set up to our television. My husband has a habit of watching television at a ridiculous loud volume until, you know, he falls asleep in front of it and I wake up to it at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I got so tired of getting up, finding the remote that is, of course, somewhere, you know, halfway underneath him in the couch cushions while he's like sleeping. And I'm like, you know what? There has to be an easier way. So it was the plug. I'm like, I put the plug in, I put the TV cord on there. Now I have Alexa in my bedroom. It just goes, Alexa, turn off the TV. And it's magic. Yes. It is absolutely,
it's so awesome.
Magical. So love it.
So if you guys have kids, something I've done is I've taken these light bulbs and I put them in the lamps on my kids' rooms. So when they go to bed, they like to have their lamp on because they're little and they still kind of, you know, they don't want to sleep in the dark and that kind of stuff. So I leave their lamp on and I can come upstairs because my kids' rooms are in the basement, and I can come upstairs and do whatever I want. And in 30 minutes, I can turn off their lamps without having to walk all the way downstairs. Now that I'm saying this all out loud, I feel like I'm sounding really lazy.
Saves time. We're talking about time saving. So
I know. Yes. So that has been amazing because that has stopped me from having to go downstairs and turn off lights and all of that good stuff. So I think that's a really good idea, Janine, about the, I'm sorry. About the TV though. I might have to do that with the kids. So this was, I think the square bot I think is like 100, and then those, I was trying to give you guys prices as I went. I'm sorry, I was trying to think in my head. So this was my gift to myself last year for Christmas, and I might be the only person in the world that bought themselves a broom and a mop, but that's okay. I love it. I'm obsessed with technology and cleaning. So this is something that I bought that has actually changed and saved me so much time. This would be the one thing that I bought last year that I would buy again, and I think I might get this for my sister for her housewarming gift. This is about $1,000. I'm going to be real upfront. It is a little bit more expensive. However, it was worth every single penny. So this is like your Roomba. This is going to be similar to your Roomba. As you can see, the station is quite a bit larger, and it is larger. I mean, it's a decent sized box. However, they do make it look nice and pretty, and it kind of blends in a little bit more than like a big bulky box. So there, it's called the narwhal. Their vacuum goes into the bottom of the narwhal. What is on top of the narwhal, what is up here is water. So this sucker will vacuum and mop for you. And it does a remarkable job at doing it also. You do not have to change dirty water, but maybe once a month. You don't have to fill it up, but maybe once a month. I can control it from my phone. I can say, the only thing is that you do have to switch mop heads to the broom thing. I haven't found that to be that big of a deal. Typically, I leave it on, you know, the mop. I kind of know when I'm going to mop, but then I just leave it on the vacuum head most of the time. We have 2 dogs, so this was something that we knew we needed. It was dark floors. And so I'm just going to show you a couple of these videos real quick so you can kind of see the insides. So this is how it actually cleans the mop head while it's mopping. So it will mop, and then once the sensors feel like the pads are too dirty, it will go back to the station. It runs those mop heads super duper fast and cleans them, and then empties the dirty water into the dirty water tank, and then fills it back up with clean water.
So does it also empty out the
It does not.
The dirt, like from
it does not.
Okay.
I have probably pretty close to 2,000 square feet on my main floor, and I empty it about once for one whole circle.
Oh, that's not bad.
Like if it goes, no. So I've never really felt like it was, I do wish it did that. I mean, if it did that, it would be like a miracle, but I wish it did. So here's how it mops. And I will say that it does not get, I have a Roomba also. It does not get tangled like my Roomba did. And the other thing is that the sensors on it are a lot different than Roomba. Like the technology is completely different. So when you first get it and you plug it in, you map out your space, and then it takes sensors and it will map, and I'm just going to show it on the next one, but it maps in rows. And so we'll just go over there. As you can see here, this is how it maps out. You can set no-go zones. You can set zones for it to not to go. And then this is how it vacuums. So I like that it paused here because this is great. This vacuum's amazing. I have long hair. My daughter does too. And I ruin vacuums all the time. Vacuums hate me. The thing I love about this is since it has the two heads that go into each other, it pushes the dirt into its suction in like hole there or whatever, and it doesn't tangle hair because it doesn't have that revolving rod in it. It's just the two circling. So over here on the left hand side, you can see the phone. This is how you start it. You can select certain rooms for it to clean. You can select how many times it goes across it. It does so many amazing things. So this, I would say, if you're going to buy one thing out of this whole thing, I would buy the narwhal over again. Absolutely. It was amazing. So this, again, is how you're going to set everything up. Everything that I talked about connects to my hub. So you see this little tiger. A lot of people don't know this, but Alexa has a baby Alexa, and my kids have one in their room. We have Alexas everywhere. I know they're probably recording me, whatever. I'm not going to worry about that. But my kids know how to use it. So just today, when we came home, my son went to get a snack in the fridge and said, "Oh, we're out of cheese sticks." And I said, "Add it to the list." And so he said, "Hey, Alexa, add cheese sticks to our shopping list." Be prepared. If you have kids, you might find a poop on your shopping list. Lobster has shown up on my shopping list. Poo-poo head has also shown up on my shopping list. So be prepared for some jokes, okay? They like to control it. They know that they can turn things on and off. So they are very aware of its capabilities as well. So my last thing I want to talk about is my reminders app. So this is something that if you're an Apple user, you have on your phone, you have on your desktop. It sucked before, okay? We all hated that. None of us used it. None of us even knew we had it because it sucked. Now the new iOS rolled out and they made some amazing updates to it. It's one of my new favorite apps, and I'm showing you kind of here on the screen. This is how I use mine. So as you can see over on the left-hand side here, you can see all of my different lists. I have a house to do. There's this little guy right here. That means I've shared that list. So other people in our house can add things to it. They can mark things off. Everyone can see everything that is on that list. And you can even make comments and stuff inside of it. The next one is real estate, and then elevated agent, general reminders, shopping, and errands. And so how I use this is with my Surrey, then I just add it to my voice. So I don't hardly ever go anywhere without my phone. So as I'm thinking or as I'm walking, if something pops in my head, I voice text it. So I'll just say, "Hey Surrey, set a reminder, blah, 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 blah." And then it goes in. So I'm going to show you or kind of talk about some of the things that you can put on here. So if, let's say, we're real estate agents and you need to take a earnest money check to the title company, and I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I forget, and you can actually put that into your notes app, your reminders app. You can say, "Hey Siri, add to my real estate list to take earnest money to security first when I'm by their location." So then it'll pop up and it'll say which location, and you just select whatever one. You make sure the address is right. So then while you're driving, once it realizes you are in the vicinity of that title company, it'll send your phone a reminder and say, "Don't forget, you need to go drop off the earnest money." Amazing, right?
Wait, how does it do that again? It's so
Yes.
I'm like mind blown over here. I'm like, oh
you
my God,
will
this is
have
awesome.
So in your phone, you will have to allow some permission. So that's why I put these two screens up. So you will want it to, oh, bummer, I put it the same screen. I'll have to change that. You'll want it to make sure it says, like, while you're using the app, that you can, it can access your location. Let me just jump out of this real quick if it's gonna let me here. Maybe that was the only one then. Okay, so, oh gosh, is it going to start over? No, okay. So the other things that I like to do is I'll do errands with it. I will also say put a time and date with it, and then it'll pop up. And the one thing I really like about it is it actually doesn't go away on your phone until you say it's completed. I do think maybe you can clear it, but I have not ever done that. So, but I like that because I'm like, oh, great reminder, remind me again in 5 minutes. Oh, great reminder, remind me again in 5 minutes. And so it stays there, it stays on your screen until you say, okay, I'm done with it. Let me just look here. Oh, okay, I put this note on here because I knew I was going to forget. So you can also set this up to where it alerts you every morning of whatever you have coming up that day. So I have it set up to where it gives me a rundown of any to-dos that I need to get done that day. And then also my calendar will send me what is on my calendar for that day. So that is kind of how I use this app. And it has really been game-changing in my to-do lists because I can send it to people, I can set locations, I can set date and time. I feel like there's something else that I'm forgetting. Let me jump into my app real quick here.
Just saying too, I'll be laying in bed and I'll have a brain dump. I'll be laying there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot to like do whatever. And then I'll just say, hey Siri, add reminder, which now my phone's gonna talk to me. You know, for whatever time the next day. And then I can go to sleep without having to like wake up and write it down. And anyway, I do that all the time.
I love that. And then I always think too, like little things, that's what I forget. So like, okay, I only need a gallon of milk. I don't need a huge grocery haul, just a gallon of milk, right? And so I can say, okay, remind me when I'm by Target to stop. And I love that because I'm always like, oh, I would have forgotten.
Crazy. I didn't know I could do that.
Yes. Okay, so you guys, that's really it from me. I was trying to stick close to time here and I think I did okay. So if anybody has any questions or anything about anything that I talked about there, I'm happy to answer those. I know. I knew this was going to be an iPhone like lover training, but I'm sorry. If you don't have iPhone, I'm sorry. Reminders is only for iPhone. However, the other technology that I shared, their apps, I do believe can work with many different phones and whole home hubs. Like I said, the Google Assistant, the Alexa, or the Apple Home. Oh, I will. Okay, so let me give you just a couple of things that I wouldn't do. We bought an Echo Bee instead of a Nest. I would not do that. I would have bought the Nest. And then the Roomba, I would not waste my money on a Roomba ever again. And I think that's about it. I did buy the Alexa for your car when it first came out. That was dumb. Shouldn't have done that. That's a waste of money because I feel like it's already in your phone basically.
Who makes
and now cars are coming out with Alexas built in.
Who makes that vacuum? Is that the brand? Like that's the company?
Narwhal is the brand. Yeah.
Narwhal is the brand. Okay.
Yeah. And I would also say that if you're going to buy one, buy it off of their website and don't buy it off of Amazon, because if you need any support or any kind of repair or anything, they actually do not help if you buy it off of Amazon.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a quick question too. So you had a Roomba before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think? Because I've got a Roomba, but what do you feel like the difference is? Why would you not buy a Roomba again?
Absolutely. The Roomba was loud, so loud. This is much quieter. It vacuums so much better. I don't have the tangles in it. Like I have to cut stuff out of my Roomba all the time because of my hair. You know, my hair gets tangled in there so bad. And so it just ruins the whole thing. But also it gets clogged a whole lot less. It's sensors. So the Roomba, it just goes until it hits something. The Narwhal is based off of a graph it makes when it maps your room. So it legit will like go in a straight line, turn, straight line, turn, straight line. And it leaves the carpet vacuum marks, guys. Hello. Who doesn't love that?
That's awesome. The carpet vacuum marks are like a must.
That should be like a huge banner on their website because I'm sorry. If you tell me that a robot will give me carpet marks, I'm in.
Awesome.
Totally love it.
The only thing I'm waiting for them to come out with is now one that will cut my grass.
They have one.
They have that. Yeah.
I know they do, but it's not accessible yet. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it hasn't been out long enough to like work the bugs out.
It's
And
like a couple, like $3,000 or something like that. One of my neighbors owns
That's
a
all.
company. Yeah, that's all. I mean, think about the long
you know what?
term.
I paid $1,000 for that vacuum, and like I said, I would do it again. So it was
It's
well
fun to
worth it.
watch them.
I like it was. I was nervous about buying it because I was like, what if it's another Roomba? You know, but it wasn't. It was great.
That's awesome. All right. You want me to go? I'll go.
Just to say, I don't care which way we go. Go for it.
I will see. For some reason, I'm going to. Can you guys see me now? Can we get
You're
up?
good now.
See
Yeah,
Mari?
you're good.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay. For whatever reason, I keep not popping up. So. Oh, well, somebody's phone's going, huh? Just kidding.
Sorry.
Okay, so I'm going to show you my office a little bit. So what I want to talk about was more of the, I'm always business, right? It's fun. I love all those things, but I'm so like business, because I love business. So how do you like the efficiency and the simplicity? It's not just efficiency. I would say the simplicity. And let me hold on. Hold on just a second. There. Okay. So it's the simplicity that we have in our business so that we're not wasting time, spending more time than we need to. That allows us to, number one, like have a life a little bit. And then number two, get more done, usually so that we can increase our volume so we can make more money, so we can buy more $1,000 vacuums. Okay. So that's my thought. So I'm going to grab my webcam and I'm hoping that I don't like go too crazy on you here. But what I want to show you is how hold on a sec. Gonna get wild for just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, now we see me. Oh, look, now we see me. Oh, and you get to see my breakouts because I'm like stressed out. Okay. So what we're gonna look at is I want to talk to you about my battle board. So there's 3 things that I want to say are like my very top things that keep me organized. Okay. The first thing is my battle board. So I'm going to flip this around and show you my battle board. Everybody needs a battle board. Okay. So let me move my chair so I can just back it on up. Okay. So this is my battle board. I have it right next to my computer. Sits right next to my desk. And what I have on here is I keep my listings and I keep my pendings. Okay. I put all my information on here because for me, it's kind of it's that quick check-in every single day. When I come sit down at my desk, I look up, I tend to keep all of my pendings. I try to keep them in date order. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll take a photo of it, print it out, and then erase everything. And then I'll go through and put them back in date order. Yes. Could you put it on a spreadsheet? Probably. Like I know people can, but there's something for me about having it in front of my face and right next to me and writing it down and erasing it when you're done. That just makes my heart sing. It also, things change, right? And so it just changes so fast. This just works. It's worked for me for 7 years. My broker laughs at me, but it totally works. Anybody else? You have to put in the chat if anybody else has a battle board. My listings I have up here because then I can sit down every day. I can check out my listings. I color code them so they're the pink ones. But I'll sit down and I'll be like, okay, what do they look like? Right? What's the progress that I've got on them? Is there anything I need to worry about? Do I need to do an open house? How's the prices looking? What's our traffic look like? All those questions I sit and I ask myself. I just can't keep my hands still. Anyway, so that's what I have my battle board. And of course, dropping my light. Anyway, I always put commission. So the things that are important to me are the client's name, the address, the contract amount, the date that we're closing, and then how much money you get to make. Because on the hard days, when you're like, man, this isn't very fun, then you're like, oh, wait, but I'll make money by the time I'm done. So now I can it gives you some motivation to keep going. Okay. The second thing I'm going to show you over here is my file drawer. Okay. So a couple different things. I just buy, sorry, I hope nobody gets sick from my stuff here. So tabs. I just buy these little tabs from Staples. Okay. I take these And every time I get a new file, so like this right here is a new file I've got for a listing that I've got to prep for. What I do is for efficiency, I call title or email title. I don't call them, but I email them. I ask them for a property profile. You talk to your title people and find out what they call that. But essentially, it's just the information packet that you have with the plat maps and everything that you get from title, right? Has the deed, has the square footage, has all that information, the land size. I get that. These folders are wonderfully free at the title company. So that's what I put it in. I have in my drawer here, I keep my pending files. And then every time I go pending, I throw one of the tabs on top of it and I put the closing date on there. So then I can line them up in closing date. And I know what's coming up. Okay. And you're probably like, Lisa, you're freaking crazy because I don't have this many things pending. Well, you have to gain up to it, number one, but if you can't control 5 or 6 or 7 things very well at one time, then you can't get to this many, right? Like you have to have a system. So this is a system that I came up with. So those are my pendings. Then I can be able to go, okay, when I sit down on Sunday or Monday, when I'm planning my week, what's coming up? What closings do we have? Like, what does my week look like? And then same thing, I've just got my actions back here that I have. So then if somebody calls, asks a question, every single document, I am still a paper person. Sometimes it's faster for me to just grab the file when I'm sitting at my desk, look up the information instead of trying to go like log in and find the document I want and blah, blah, blah. So that's what I use that for. I'm going to put you back up here. So hopefully no one throws up on me. Okay. And yes, Mari, have a drawer with all the freaking pendings. It is awesome and fun. And then you can buy $1,000 vacuum and you don't feel bad because you're like, oh, it's a drop in the bucket. So you can get there.
You are such a hater on the vacuum. That's so funny.
No, I'm serious. I love that. I had a Roomba. I mean, I've had a Roomba for a while, but now I'm like, well, now I think I need the $1,000 vacuum. No, let's go sell another house, right? Does anybody else count in houses? You're like, we have to fix the car. Let's go sell a house. Anybody else count in houses? Yeah, I totally count in houses. Oh, my child needs braces. Okay, we need to sell a house. And that pays for the braces. Like you start thinking, it's really odd, but we start thinking in like chunks of money, which is totally different mentality than any other job, I feel like. But it's just the way that our jobs become. So I'm like, well, let's, we need to do this thing. Let's sell another house, right? For me, that gives me motivation to like get up and do the thing. Like that's me. You have to find your motivation. We'll move this here. You have to find your motivation, but that's kind of what helps to drive me is just those goals. And whether they're really boring goals, like, oh, my goal is I have to buy a new washing machine because my washing machine died. I mean, that's not a very fun goal, but it's still a goal, right? So something to work toward. To me, what that does is like kind of removes the just focusing on like, I have to call the person to sell the house, or I have to try to go pitch myself to people, or I have to try to figure out my marketing. It gives me so much more excitement behind it because I'm not just having to do it. I'm doing it for such a bigger purpose, I guess. Okay, so then my last, like that's my 2 big hacks. You guys may already do those. Simple, guys. Okay, so then this is my 3rd hack. This is my planner. I don't know if you have it, if you've used it. I can't live without it. So the reason why I developed this to start with is because I'd gone to, if you go to agendio.com, agendio.com, that's where I'd originally gone and I created my own, you can customize a planner. But for the amount of like stuff I had in it, it cost me $110 for a 6-month planner. And I was like, holy, right? Like that was a lot, but I did it because I wasn't sure, like, I'm like, well, maybe I'll love it. Well, I wasn't going to do it again because it was $110. But what I found was after it ran out and I tried to go buy all the different planners from the store, I couldn't figure out one that worked where I could keep all my stuff. Like it was either too small or it wasn't sectioned enough. And anyway, so hence the planner was born. Thought, well, if I need it, somebody else might need it too. So my biggest thing about planning and having the planner in general is a couple things. So like, for instance, yesterday we went to a listing appointment. I took my husband with me, went to a listing appointment. for 3 different houses. So this one client calls, I've got 3 houses I want to sell. Great. We have to go walk through them all. So that's kind of a lot to keep straight, just a bit. That's why I have my listing sections in here. I seriously just grab my pen. I'm a pen freak. I love, like, this is my new favorite pen. Anyway, and I will just walk, like literally just walk around when I ask them questions about the listing, and I just take notes right in here. So there's no way for me to lose it. I don't have a separate, like, something, like, it's all on me all the time. One of the reasons why that makes my life a little bit more efficient too, is because if I get a phone call, once I have this listed, when I get a phone call from somebody and they're like, hey, you have this house for sale. Can you tell me, you know, how old it is or whatever? I can just flip it right open and I can give them the information. Any questions they have, I have it all right there. You can also look it up on HomeSnap. That's my other favorite. Like, if I go app, HomeSnap is my favorite app, of course, because you can look everything up in there. But this keeps all my clients' contact info, like everything, who the lender is, all the good stuff in one spot. And then I also have the buyer section, because trying to keep track of your buyers, where we lose time is by, oh my, hey, man, okay, feels my light. But where we lose a lot of time is in redoing. Like, we do something, we lose it, we look for it. We put it on a Post-it note, we accidentally threw it away when we went to car wash. Like, then we're searching. And the more you have to search, the more time you're wasting. So that's one of the reasons I just, everything goes in the one spot. Then I don't wonder, did I stick it somewhere else and now I can't find it? I also make it small, so when I can hold it when I'm walking, but if I'm driving, I literally stick it like next to me on my console, and I'll full on, like, you know, have the speakerphone when I'm driving, and I'll write down if somebody calls me and they like want something. I'll take a note when I'm driving. I don't know, is it illegal? I don't know, but I do it. I also don't live in a big, like, crazy, you know, area with lots of traffic. Anyway, so that helps me keep track of my buyers, my listings. So then too, I can sit down and I can peruse through my buyers that I have. And I'm like, okay, who do I need to touch base with this week? And just kind of keep track of them and what kind of follow-up I need to do. The other thing is, plan on Sundays. Like, plan. Thank you, Janine. She says, people smoke while driving. I'm sure I can take a note. That's very true. It's one-handed. So, okay, I'm going to tell the cop that if he pulls me over. So on Sundays, I sit down and I fill in first everything that I know is going on for the week. That's the first thing I do. So generally, like, any appointments that I already have and any family activities that we have, that's the first thing that goes on the calendar, because my kids play sports. So I always got to figure out what days do we have games, because I don't miss games. So fill in what you have to do first, what's already on the schedule. That then allows you to prep what else you might need to do or fill in the blanks, right? Then if somebody calls me and says, can you meet with me? I can easily look up and be like, yes, I have an open time here. Does this work for you? Where we can get real, like, stressed and frustrated sometimes is when somebody calls and they say, can you meet me? And you're like, sure. And then you're like, oh crap, you got off the phone and now you've double booked yourself. And then you feel dumb because we have to call back and be like, can we move it? Or you have to shift something, and then the stress sets in, right? So it makes it a whole lot easier if we're prepared first, and then we just fill in those blanks. And at the same token, if you don't have 15 things pending yet and you want them, if you have blanks in your time, those are the times that you then find things to do, right? Like to start moving your business forward. So that's that. I do an assessment at the end of every week. By Fridays, I will look and say, okay, did I get all the things done? And if I didn't get them done, I work really hard Friday to try to get them done, so I'm not carrying them over to Monday. Because if I carry them to Monday, anybody else guilty? I noticed I'll carry them to Monday, and then I'll carry them to Monday again, and I'll carry them to Monday again. By the time I like do it, it's like a month and a half later, and I'm like, oh, like I just carried that over for a month and a half, and I still never did it. When we do that, it's taking up space in our brain. It's like that monkey on our back that we don't have off, and we don't need the extra stress. We have clients and we have children and we have spouses most of the time, and they all stress us out. So we don't need more stress. So I try not to carry things over. That being said, if you need to like plan a day to do something, set aside how much time it's going to take. So if I think, okay, this is the thing I'm going to do tomorrow, like I have 3 listings to prep. This is what I'm going to do tomorrow. It's going to take me 2 hours to get all the documents done. So when am I going to do it? I'm going to do it from 11 to 1. My husband's doing laundry. I'm going to do it from 11 to 1 o'clock, right? And I'm setting aside that time so that it's purposeful and I have that, I'm getting it done. If we have a list, it's great to have a list. Like you'll find, you know, on your notepads, like we have a list of all of our to-dos. The reason why we don't get our to-dos done is because they're just a list, but we've not assigned a time to them. We just know we have to do them, but that doesn't mean that we want to do them. And that doesn't mean that we've set aside time to do them. Right. So but assign a time for whatever it is that you're going to do. And that includes your prospecting, right? That includes like trying to find a new business, but also the current stuff that you're also doing. Can you, oh, go ahead. What?
You have the link for your agent leader planner that you can drop in the chat.
I can throw it in. It's just agentleaderplanner.com. And what I would say is we are to the last, well, let me show you one more thing and then I'll tell you, because I'll send you this one for free. They're 6-month planners. So we have just over a month and a half left in this one, in the January to June. So the July to December is about ready to get started on. So if you order the July to December, I'll just ship you the June one with it for free because it's only got a month left. Okay. So you can do that if you want. The other thing is if you don't like a written planner and people like their phones, which is good if you're a digital person, you still can do, we created this year. This totally wasn't meant to be like a sales thing, just FYI, but this is how I keep my life straight. I don't know what else to say. Like, this is like, you know, I sell 90 houses a year. Like, how do you keep that straight? This is how I developed like my way to keep it straight. So anyway, but so the client management planner, this isn't a daily planner. This simply is just your listing pages and your buyer pages. That's all it is. So if you don't like a daily planner and some people just want their phones, you could do just the client management planner. So at least you can keep all your contacts in the same spot. The other cool thing is in like time efficiency, I have in here, we added this last year, the lead source for where your business comes from. So anytime I receive a call, I'm like, okay, where did you, it prompts me to remember to ask them, like, where did they find me? And then I write that down. Right.
Which, Lisa, that's amazing because from my perspective in marketing, that is like the source of your client is almost is really the one pivotal piece of data that I use to build almost entire marketing plans off of that. So knowing where your clients are coming from is a huge component.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't realize it for the first few years of my business at all. I didn't keep track of it. And then when I went to go like starting to spend money on marketing, and I was like marketing to random people. I'm like, well, why am I, and finally I had an epiphany, like, why am I marketing to random people when I can market to people that I've already done business with? Or I can find out how they're finding me so that you can be able to direct those marketing dollars into a place that's like purposeful. Otherwise, you're just throwing the money out there, like trying this thing and trying this thing. But if you don't have purpose behind it, you're wasting money and time. Right. So we don't want to do that. So you always want to know what your lead source was. I also have a spot in here whether or not we've added them to our database, because I always want to make sure I have them in my database. So that's a prompt to do that. And if you didn't add them, great. You have all their contact info on there. You can go back and add them later, but at least you have the contact info and you've been prompted to do that. On a separate, like not organizational note, the reason why that's important is because you're building clientele. Like we are not like, as we are here and we're teaching you and everything I teach all the time, like we're not just teaching you how to go sell a house. And that's what most trainers want to teach you. Like, oh, here's the script you use and this is what you do to go sell a house. Well, that's really great, but wouldn't you rather like build a business, right? Build a good book of business so that you're not always looking for the next house, the next person, the next thing. Like they call you and you're not even looking, right? That is a great goal to get to, where you've built a business that can sustain itself. So these are tools that help me to get to that. On a personal hack, I also do the reminders on my phone. That I find that really helpful, and especially when I don't have like my pen or paper next to me, or I'm laying in bed. So that is alarms on my phone. So I also will put specific alarms on my phone every day. One of the things that I struggle with is stopping to eat. I don't know if anybody else does that, but we get going and then we kind of forget, like I didn't eat. Sounds dumb, right? But then we eat more later, or we eat the things we're not supposed to, or whatever. So that really makes nutrition very hard in this job. And so I put alarms on my phone, like time for lunch, 12 o'clock, my alarm goes off. At 4:45, my alarm went off. It's time to finish working and it's time to start making dinner. 6 o'clock says it's time to eat dinner. Like whatever your schedule is. I also have an alarm that goes off at 9 o'clock at night that says finish up for the night. Because I'll just keep going, whether it's work or play or whatever. It's like I do have to go to sleep. And so I'll put a finish up for the night. And at 10 o'clock, it says, okay, it's time to get in bed. Right? Do I always make it? Maybe sometimes. Am I addicted to the Johnny Depp trial? It's a real good possibility. I watch some of that at night. Anybody else hear me on that? But the alarms help me to kind of like, it kind of interrupts your pattern. So if there's something that you find that you need to get better at, or that you're not doing, I would really encourage you to just put an alarm on your phone with whatever that is, to help interrupt your daily thought pattern so that you can start to change that habit. Super, super helpful. And then find your place to hide. I know that sounds really weird too, but we all need quiet moments in all of this chaos and all the things. So, and we're with people all the time. Like we're talking to clients, we're talking to the kids, we're talking to the spouse, we're doing the things for everybody else all the time. So I hide in the car wash. I will go sometimes, I'll take my afternoon snack and I'll go through the car wash and I'll be like 5-10 minutes to the car wash, sometimes sit in the parking lot when I'm done. That's my quiet space for just a second. Like find your quiet space. It could be at Lululemon, it doesn't matter, but find your quiet space. To me, that's helpful. So you can just take that little bit of a break, and the reset helps you like ready to go again. So that's it, peeps. Yeah, driving in the country.
Love that. Yes. Say when I drive to the country, because I am obviously as the hyperlocal agent, super hyperlocal, but every now and then I get to go into the country, which is like a 45-minute drive, which for me it's like, oh, okay. But it's like the drive where I'm like, yes, me and a podcast or an Audible, and it's like, it's work. So no, not bringing the kids. Yeah. Which you might be hearing because we're getting close to bedtime on my end here. And I got a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old, and I'm going to speed you guys up tonight on all things mom life, because mom brain, real estate business. I don't know if anybody else has this struggle, but it's real. It's being pulled in about 1,000,005 directions. And I want to show you a couple things that help me just be a little bit more efficient on it. So one of the things that Kelly didn't hint on yet, and Lisa apparently is not aware of, this wonderful thing called Instacart. So let's start there. Instacart has been this amazing lifesaver when it comes time to grocery shop. I love going grocery shopping. I don't have anything against it. I think there's a huge learning opportunity for my children to go physically in a store, see me put things in a cart, see me pay for it, see me loading it up. Like, I think there's value there, but at the same time, it just doesn't happen all the time. So Instacart, it's, my favorite stores. I'm a huge Aldi shopper. I love Aldi. So I just have the store right down the street from me. I will send in my order. They're super fast. On the way home, I will drive by, pick it up, and I'm done with the grocery shopping. So super, super amazing way to really, speed up the things that we do. And yes, I still go in the store. I still have things that I forget. There's a minimum order. It's, I think, $35 or whatever, which, let's be honest, with the inflation prices, it's kind of hard to walk out of a store with less than $35 in your cart anyhow. but awesome, awesome time saver when it comes to that. Now, I can also, instead of just saying, hey, Alexa, put this on my grocery list, I just go ahead and I add it into my Instacart. I keep adding them as things pop in my mind, which helps me personally because I'm a very much scattered brain when it comes to my grocery list. I'm like, I have something in my mind, and like I'm out of garbage bags. Like I'm literally using my husband's black construction bags right now because I'm out of garbage bags. And I'm like, oh, gotta pick it up, right? But HelloFresh is the other one. Okay. So there's that personal life hack I wanted to throw in there. And what I got for you guys tonight is a sneak peek into my CRM, right? You guys hear the word CRM and most people are like, oh, like, don't even bother me with that. Yes, there's a head nod. I see it. I know it's a pain. And most of them are. Most of the CRMs that are out there are so overly complicated that all of us are sitting in front of it and we're thinking, what the heck am I looking at? So I thought, why not show you the one that I absolutely fell in love with, just because it is so easy and it's a checklist. And it's a forgiving checklist that will forgive me for not being there every single day, for example, because I'm with my kids or I'm doing something else, or I just didn't find the time that day to catch up on something. But I want to make sure this to-do list is not on a post-it, like Lisa said, right? So let me show you first up what your CRM tool really should do, okay? So when it comes to your CRM, think about it really as your personal assistant, okay? Scratch the word CRM. This is your personal assistant. This is the person that I pay $29 a month to keep me on track. I cannot hire a physical person to do that for me, okay? Personally, I've identified 5 things. Let me see if I can zoom in. That I think a CRM should do. My personal assistant should do these things. It must be able to add the leads manually and automatically. It needs to have the ability to add notes to each individual person. It also needs to have the ability to create types and categories to organize buyers, sellers, leads, clients, past clients, right? If you can hear my kids screaming, it's close to bedtime. Can you hear my kids screaming? Yeah. Yeah. They're fighting. That's our life right now.
That's okay. We all do that. I mean,
So
children.
the other one, mass email features. If that doesn't do it, you should have an automated email system that does it. And then manual and automatic tasking. And that's really the thing that I want to show you tonight in mine is, what does it do? So I don't have to think, guys. Like, you hear the stuff in the background going on. This is what happens for me most days. I got a 3-year-old. He's not in public school. He's not in daycare full time. This is just what happens. So I get derailed out of my day a lot of times, and I cannot run a multiple 6-figure business having sticky notes all over the place. So hold on a second.
That's a laugh though. At least that's not like a while she goes, I want to show you guys something. Hold on. Okay. While I forgot to show you. This is my other hack. I make a shake every day. It ended up for lunch, but not for breakfast. But you can buy them at Costco, and then you can throw your shake in it, and then you can throw it away. That's my favorite thing to do ever, because otherwise you like stick it in a shaker cup. Anybody ever done that? Like stick a protein shake in a shaker cup. And then like a few days later, you're like, what on earth smells in my car? Because you left your shaker cup in there and then you're just throwing the cup away. So anyway, I do this. I actually make these for my daughter. We'll make protein shakes because I'm trying to beef her up a little bit. I'll make protein shakes for breakfast, and then she can just take it out the door with her and she can throw it away when she's done. So that's like one of my favorite things. Okay, Janine's back.
Well, so now that we lost all the males in the room, I think at this point, just kidding. But it's like, you know what, this is life. This is why I'm
still here.
I'm like, yeah, we still have some manics, you know?
This is like part of what, you know, I think is really the important part, because I'm in the middle of something and all of a sudden this is going on, you know, and I'm like, what just happened? So part of my sanity is found in my beautiful personal assistant that I'm going to show you. And let me just log in. This one is the one I use and I like it. I've been through a couple different ones. And I really like the ones that are simple to scale, simple to use. So if you look here, this one here is just my dashboard, and it shows you that there was a couple leads added about an hour ago, 3 hours ago. I didn't do that. Okay. So I did not touch any of this. This just came into my CRM because it's set up to do these amazing things for me while the craziness happens out there. Okay. So
I'm going to ask you real quick, are you using Zapier to do that, or how are you getting them into your CRM?
some of it is with Zapier. Yeah.
Okay.
So for those of you guys not familiar with it, Zapier is an amazing integration that you can play around with. There is billions of ways to use it. I use it, for example, in my garage sale event. So this one here, I'm fairly certain he is a garage sale lead. So he came in on my Google form saying, hey, I want to participate on the garage sale. And I have it set up. If somebody comes into my Google form that is for the garage sale, they get dumped into my CRM. And let me show you this gentleman right now. He's currently tagged right here, garage sale. So he is a garage sale one. He is tagged with mailing address. He's a lead and he's assigned to me. So I do have a small team. So there is, the capabilities for me to tag things, and it just happens. Like, this is peace of mind for me personally. Now, from the dashboard, I want to show you my daily to-do list. Okay. And I didn't go in and clean it up on purpose because I wanted to show you the real life, what I log into. I'm like, okay, they're going to see, let me go on my task list. They're going to see that there's overdue tasks. Okay. I have 34 overdue tasks that I did not get to yet. Overdue tasks that I need to complete. Some of them are sending out the just sold postcards around the listing. It's on my list. I know that. Some of them are sending out, for example, this one here, there's a home anniversary. I actually sent them a happy home anniversary message so I can check this off. We have this really cute little check button. So I'm a big fan of, this checking it off. I check it off, it's gone. I'm down to 33. Yay me. So, but what you see here is, and I'm going to show you one of the ones in particular for the seller lead follow-up, just so you can stop having seller leads fall through the cracks. Okay. But it reminds me to do all these things automatically. I don't have to think like, oh, this one here, for example, and says it's a rental. Okay. I know it's a rental. It says to check in with the clients after 30 days. Don't think I would be remembering to check in with them 30 days after their brand new tenant moves in. Hey, how's it going? But these are the touches that they remember. These are the touches where they're like, holy smokes, she's good. These are the touches where they say, hey, I'm actually looking for a second investment, because they know they don't have to worry. My tenant needs to move out 60 days prior. Guess who's having a task on our to-do list saying, hey, 60-day notice is up. Did you talk to your tenant yet? This is me. Not because I remember, but because I have my beautiful assistant telling me about it for that day that I pay $29 a month to. I just added birthdays in. I am horrible with birthdays. Unless Facebook tells me it's your birthday, I will not remember your birthday. I am not a birthday person. I love when people say happy birthday to me. I love when I say happy birthday to other people, but it's not on my agenda. It's not a giant calendar on my wall. It's just the way it is. The other thing I have in here is things I need to do for seller follow-up. So why don't we go ahead and go back to our wonderful Don that just came in. And I'm going to show you what happens if somebody comes in as a seller lead. And one of the things that I have built out is seller lead follow-ups. Okay, there's a ton of them in there, but for the sake of time, and I'm sure you don't want to hang out with me in my CRM for the next 3 hours, figured seller leads is where it's at, right? But let's talk about, what do I do? So let's assume he's a seller lead. This is still something that I personally set up manually, just because I want to look at the person. I want to look at the address, okay? For me, most of my business is in my geographic farm, and I know the streets. So for me, I like to look at it. I like to kind of have an idea of where it's at. And then from there, I can add something in my wonderful personal assistant program here that is called an activity set. And there's, like I said, there's a couple different ones. I'm a big fan of simplicity scales. Okay. So really what I want to look at is, who is it? Is it a seller or a buyer? Okay. There's a couple different ones for that. There's an entire different one for past clients. There's one for sale by owners. I'm a team lead, so there's one for recruiting. There's one for onboarding. Obviously, there's a couple other ones. But for the seller follow-up, I just have here, okay, if they just came in, my activity starts, for example, today, May 18th, and I want to have all these tasks here added automatically. Okay, all of this here goes on to this one person automatically. So once I enter this button, add activity set to this lead, it will automatically say, your next task, go ahead and send them an instant CMA and get your pre-listing package to their front door. Okay, this is what I need to do. This is what's on my to-do list. This is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to think about it. I don't have the willpower to just will myself to think about it at 7:30 at night. So for me, when I go in and I go through all my tasks that I have to do, it's becoming a matter of what's the easiest thing for me to make it happen without dropping the ball. Okay. So if you've been trying to juggle it all, trying to, not drop the ball, in my opinion, this one here is your magic pill. This is your magic pill that most people are looking at and they're wondering, oh my gosh, how do I keep up with everything? Like, how do I remember when their home anniversary is? You can put it in your phone, sure, right? You can clutter up that calendar. You can have just an only past client calendar, but then you still have to reach out to them. So this one here is a nice little way of just remembering to do all the things I need to do. The other thing I wanted to show you is right down here. This is part of my seller follow-up. Okay, so there's a couple people in here that need to go in my seller follow-up. Well, they are in my seller follow-up and I need to do the things that it says. My seller follow-up, for example, consists of 3 pieces. I have them on my broadcast email, I have them on an automated email, and I have them on a mailing sequence. So for me, it's really, really important that if I decide to step out, I can work ahead. As if I want to go on vacation for a week, I could plow my way through the task for the next 7 days, and I can go on vacation and I can say, you know what, I feel good about this. The other thing is, if I go on vacation or if I'm out on leave or whatever, I can plug an assistant in place and say, hey, these are the things you need to do. Okay. So for example, today, and again, I didn't mark it off because I wanted to show that to you. There is, let's see, where did I put her? It says here, mark lead as lost. Okay, so let's click on Deb. Deb has been in my system for quite some time. She came in as a lead. It shows me the address. I, by the way, have no recollection of talking to Deb ever. But one of the cool things that I can do is I can figure out, well, is Deb actually engaged with me? Do I want to continue following up on Deb? Or do I just want to say, you know what, Deb, you are not interested. How can I make this judgment call on Deb without remembering a ton about her from like 2 years ago? Okay. So what it pulls up here is my email. So if she gets an email sent, it shows me her open rate is 0%. And let's check one other list that she's on. So she's on 2 different ones. She's on a buyer follow-up, and then she's on my regular email follow-up. So if I get to the point, you would have assumed, well, she didn't open any of the emails in the first one. It's a dummy email. But now I look at the second list, and she actually is opening them. Even though her open rate is under 9%, this is not a dummy email, okay? So for me to know that, that is huge information to make calls on my business. I can do them at 10 o'clock at night. I can look at those leads whenever I have time, okay? So now I can say, okay, cool. For me, my benchmark, if they are not opening up my emails more than 40%, I probably don't spend a ton of time on their follow-up. Okay, so if they've been with me for over 2 years, Their email open rate is below 40%. My email open rate on average is about 50%, 40 to 50. So I want to make sure that I spend my time and resources really on the people that matter. Okay. So for me, she's a last lead. I'm not going to delete her, but I'm also not going to continue to pursue her like crazy. Okay. So this is for me a huge time saver to just really pick and choose the ones I want to spend my time on and my money on and all of that good stuff. The other one you see here is the 3D virtual tour, for example. Disregard that, just substitute it for blue envelope. So what I got here are pre-stuffed envelopes. Okay, so my last hack, I would say, for you guys is batching. These envelopes are all pre-stuffed, ready to go. They got my address label on there, just here. Okay, and now all I got to do is grab a stack, grab a pen, and I'm going to go through these guys right here, and I'm going to start with their follow-up. These are seller leads that are now getting their follow-up. I don't think about it. Okay. Same with the note cards. There's a couple here that get a note card. The note cards are pre-stuffed. They're ready to go. And all I got to do is put the address on it, put a stamp on it. So if you saw my live video earlier inside the hyperlocal agent, I was talking about stamps because we have a thing about stamps. We like them crooked, we like them individual, and we like them real, you know, we like the real deal stamps. But this is what keeps me going and keeps my life going from a perspective of, you know, just leads. Obviously, there's so much more to it when it comes to property management, right? Things like ordering up a sign, things like installing a lockbox, dropping off booties, remembering to take your crap out of the house before it closes, and then you have to go and knock on the buyer's door and say like, oh, I forgot my booties and my shoe cover was here, you know, could I grab them? Like, those are all little things that sound crazy, but most of us are doing them. We don't send an assistant there for the most part. It's most of us still doing a lot of these things. So for me, it's all really trying to make sure I remember those things by going to one spot, which is my CRM. So hopefully this was helpful. And I know some people are super scared about the CRM, but I hope tonight that, you know, you really saw some of the cool stuff that can happen with it. And if you guys want $10 of this one, I got a code and I'll send it to Lisa for the email later on, but there's a $10 coupon on it, and love this one.
That's awesome. I think what's cool is some people's brains go to digital and some people go to paper. Some people have a little bit of both, but like I look at that and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to figure out how to use another system. Like, I don't think I can do that, right? I'm just barely figuring out Instagram. But yeah, that one does look a lot more simple than some of them do. But some people geek out over that. Some people geek out over paper. Like, so I think it's good that we have a mix of ideas of things to do because everybody's brains work differently. Janine, we did have a question. Somebody said, you said an instant CMA, is that automated, or what software do you use?
As of right now, I'm with Cloud CMA, and Lisa already put in there HomeBot AI is your other choice. Both of them are currently going neck and neck for instant delivery, but yes, your CMA should absolutely be automated at this point.
And when you say that, just out of curiosity, when you send out an automated like that, how are you getting, what type of lead are you using that for?
So those are seller leads, right?
Right, but where's the lead coming from that you would use that system?
So I do geographic farming, I guess. So for me, it's mailers. Most of my seller leads are coming from my direct mail pieces. Okay. So I just want to really make sure that I grab the lead, I get them, like I said, just like Kelly said earlier, look at the data, right? And she was pointing back to Lisa, and all of us said it, know where your people are coming from. Mm-hmm. I showed you things here that had on there garage sale. I pull 6 figures in commission from my garage sale people. Like, people look at it and they're like, it's a garage sale. And I'm like, yes, it is a garage sale. And this garage sale adds 6 figures to my bottom line as one strategy. So it's good to track. Know what happens behind the scene is just really exciting because you can really make good calls of where do you spend your time. So for me, it's mailers, it's geographic farming, and it's my garage sale. And that is because my CRM has it all tagged. They become a seller lead or a listing, then they become a client. I can go back and I can see, oh my gosh, look, this one has been referred to me by this and this person. Well, guess what? I'm going to send them a note card. I'm going to thank them for it. Right? So lots of cool stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you.
I would totally agree with Zapier. So that is something that I use for my social media. Every time I create a video, I add it to a Dropbox, and I have Zapier then take those videos and upload them to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest as drafts. So then all I have to do is go in and publish.
Nice. All right. Does anybody else have any questions? Speaking of
Yeah, let's see. I was watching the chat throughout the whole class, and I think that we answered most of the questions as they came. So that's awesome.
I think so too. I was just going to make one comment, and this, of course, doesn't have. Anyway, the coach in me can't stop. I'm sorry, but when we talk about automating and what automated CMAs and stuff that you do, just make sure that you're not automating as we talk about the automation. That in our business with our in our business with our clients, you need to definitely categorize what things should be automated and what things should not be automated, or what parts and pieces you can, and not to automate so much that you start to take the relationship out of your business. That's the thing I would say. So we automate all the things behind the scene as much as we can, but we need to make sure that we're still fostering and keeping those relationships with the clients. Otherwise, we don't build the book of business that we're looking to do.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I always like to say, I teach a lot of social media with the marketing. So I always like to say that social media should be the spark, but you and the relationship should be the flame.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. See, I'm like automation was a human touch. So it's
I like
so
that too.
Interesting how it's like all like so different, but it's like all the same, spark and the flame. I like that one.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming.
Yes, thank you guys.
I hope you learned something that can maybe help you in your own personal business and make your life a little bit easier. So
yay.
That was the goal.
Thank you all for your time. Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much.